staff meeting. Snack time.
Yep. Snack time at the staff meeting.
Tasty.
Gotta
hunker down.
Hunker down.
I don't know. Knees up, snack time. Knees up, snack time. But we had a success.
We had a success. We had several successes today. Oh, I have another video up, by the way.
I did see that.
It's just a small one. It's
telling them about this one?
No.
Telling people to watch your other.
Oh, yes, I did. Okay, so I have 2 videos that you need to tag. 2 videos that you need to tag. No, you don't get any of this. Is chocolate. You already had yours.
I have a lot of work to do. You know that? I have a lot of work.
You're not even started.
You are so high maintenance, girl.
You haven't even started. Like, get on it already. Hello. No, so I had the, come to my book launch reminder video, which was all of a minute, which works really great.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You should push it back further.
And then it will bounce. Bounce, 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 bounce.
Okay, not too much. Like, tip a chair. And a lamp.
We don't need to lamp places.
Well, we don't need to tip the lamp.
We'll leave it alone. It'll be fine.
I was fixing.
You've been fixing.
We broke a glass last night. We do not need to break the lamp tonight.
That's why I plastic today, because I can't be trusted with glass. Just saying, I can't be trusted with glass.
How are you doing?
So anyhow, no, the other video is for the newsletter organization. Mm-hmm. So I showed off my newsletter organization sheet. I'm not going to actually put that one up for sale. I'm just going to throw it with bonus material because what I want to do is eventually I want to throw together a package where I'll be like, you get this, 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 and this for however much money, and then I'm going to throw in this, and that'll be my bonus, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a really easy worksheet that people can create themselves. But if they don't want to, then they can buy the bonus whenever I actually get it put together. Gave me, the book launch, the blurb, the book cover, a bunch of other things that we're slowly putting together. Because we're slowly getting more and more and packaging things together for courses. Mm-hmm. So courses are going to be fun.
Well, I think the thing is that we like to pack a lot of value into stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to just waste people's time and waste our time.
No, that's the goal.
I mean,
I don't like wasting people's time. I don't like my time wasted, so why would they want their time to be wasted?
I mean, we like to... I wrote a blog today.
You wrote a blog, okay.
I did. Because somebody messaged me.
Want to write my blogs too? Just kidding.
I wrote, somebody messaged me and they're like, okay, so you're just concentrating on video nowadays? And I'm like, because I have cut back on my blogging. My written words.
Well, I'm glad they noticed and they let you know. Because that shows that they're paying attention. They want to read your blogs.
And that's what I said to them. I said, thank you for letting me know. Because I love writing.
Mm-hmm.
I am enjoying doing the video. I find the video motivates me to get stuff done. But it is slipping as well. Because health reasons, I'm just trying to get so much done. And just some days you're just not in the mood, right? Or the weather. Things just don't
And now you're my PA, so you got more work to do.
Yeah. And so trying to coordinate it all, but I find I'm trying to do it all. And you want to do it all. Mm-hmm. And it took you how long to figure out that you needed a PA? You kind of knew you wanted one all along, but to show that you really needed it?
I knew that I needed it when I decided that I was going to be doing courses, and I decided I was going to be doing YouTube. Before then, I probably could have handled it all. Whatever
you were handling it.
I was handling it, but I probably would have ran myself to distraction. But the fact that I want to up my production schedule, I want to do all this other stuff, makes me go, oh my word, I need somebody to relieve me of some of the more tedious stuff, lucky you, so that I can concentrate on the things that I need to learn going forward. Otherwise, it's time. It's time taken up.
Well, and there's a point where, doing all the mundane stuff, sometimes you love it and it's great, and sometimes you have to let that control go and say you're going to do just almost as good of a job, maybe a little different, but the same result, and I can outsource this and get it done, and have it done, and my time and value is worth this. Whereas it's not saying that, your value or time is worth any less. But
it's just saying
But I'm higher up the food chain and I need to get my work done, and I want to create good value, so outsourcing some of these things with by people or by programs or by automating it really does make better use of your time. Because now you can do more books and launch them faster.
Well, it's just like I knew I wanted to expand in certain areas, and in order to do that, the easiest way was to give some of my easier tasks to somebody else and say, okay, you can learn this while I'm learning that, because I know this, and if you have questions, I'm not going to be like, well, I don't know, right?
Yeah. And then so you're kind of giving up a little bit of control.
I am giving up a little bit of control.
How hard was that to let go?
It's still hard.
Yeah. Because I'm not necessarily doing the same way you were thinking that you would, or you're like, I want it done already. Like,
because I want it done already, and I want it done last week because I'm very impatient. And so I'm sitting here going, why isn't that done already? But you're like, oh, I did this, this, and this. And I'm like, oh, well, okay, you did that first instead of doing this first. But that's okay. Because I'm a bit of a control freak, and I want to micromanage, and I want to get stuff done. And I don't always do the job that I should because I want to get it done, and I want to just keep going.
And I think the thing with me is that when I don't feel great, and that's what I said in my thing, was that when I don't feel great, I'm not getting much done. So when I do feel decent or good, I'm like wanting to get it all done. And so I have so much on my plate
that you start feeling overwhelmed and stuff too.
Yes. And the fact that I want to make up for lost time because I feel like I'm always like running a year behind or 20 years behind schedule. And I burn out myself that way.
Well,
but I'm somebody we are people who want to,
I think,
like, achieve and
come here. I think the thing is too is that I was feeling
we're overachievers.
We are overachievers. It's like I wanted to get a lot done. I still want to get a lot done. I feel like I'm behind.
Yes.
And so every day I'm like, let's pack it in. Let's pack this in. Let's do this. Let's do this. And my to-do list is always bigger than what I can do each day. And so I feel like a little bit of a failure when I can't get my stuff done.
But have you time blocked it out, like I did? And did you make sense of it, or figure out how to time?
I do, but I always find that things take longer than what I want them to.
Well, the first time they're going to take 4 times longer.
Yeah, but even the third or fourth time, it just seems like it's like, oh man, I should have had this done like already, and it's just not done. So I just want to get stuff done, and I create these ridiculously long lists where I'm like, I'm gonna manage this, and it's not happening. But I'm always happy that I get the most important stuff done first, which is great. I just feel like I could be doing more, and I feel like I could be, be further along. I just want to be further along in the business where I can really see the accomplishments, right? Like I know I've come far, but there's more to go, and I wanna get there. And I'm enjoying the journey getting there.
Oh yeah.
It's just that I want to get there. I want to say, hey, yeah, I got my first course done, and see how it goes. And I want to say, hey, yeah, I managed to get 3 books published in a month.
Yeah, that's gonna be a push.
And I want to say, hey, yeah, I did a webinar, and hey, yeah, I first time we did a book launch, cool stuff, cool beans, and hey, yeah, I've got a second newsletter out and stuff like that, and it just, these are all things that I want to do, and it just piles on more work.
Yeah,
which is true.
Yeah, you totally accomplish great things, and you're like, oh, that was awesome, let's do more.
Yeah, that's the problem, because I'm like, ooh, there's another cool idea, let's add that to the plate.
And I think that is my biggest thing, that I think I'm set up for burnout all the time because I'm trying to overachieve. And when I'm not well and I miss that day, it feels like it's going to take me 3 days to make up for that because I've still got those other 2 days that I got to do stuff plus get that day.
Yep.
And then I get really bummed out or really but it does give me motivation for when I'm like, okay, I feel okay, like somebody's gotta get done now.
Let's do this.
Like,
let's do this thing.
But
yeah,
it's we can reset. Yeah. But it makes me feel like I get a little anxious and a little stressed though because I really.
So how do you deal with that?
Want to do awesome and I want to do great with it.
So in your business, because you want to do awesome, do great, you are feeling overstressed because you sometimes do miss time for health. and you know you have these tasks that have to get done, and several of them are time sensitive. So how do you deal with the stress of it?
Going bonkers, yeah. No,
What?
Going bonkers, yeah.
Going bonkers, that's not it.
No,
No.
I prioritize because I have to say my health is first, and if I can't control it, I can't control it. So why beat myself up about it? Why feel guilty? You know, and I have to say I need time for people and the lifestyle, because if I'm just hustling is great, but if that's all I'm doing is stressing and rushing, being busy, you know, I don't want to be busy for the sake of being busy, and I don't want to be rushed and going out of my mind with the overwhelm. So that's not the lifestyle to do. I have to say, well, I'm doing this because I want to enjoy life and have a good life and accomplish and learn. So I'm trying to balance enjoying with learning. And I wrote out what I really do need to get done in a day. And if I can't get it all done, I've done it with time blocking, figuring out how long each thing actually takes. So before I'm adding more to my plate, I have to make sure I get a good handle on those things. So I added your stuff as a good time block, and then my stuff as a big time block, and that's my day. So if I'm missing something in there that I'm not check marking off regularly, is it important to me? If it's important to me, I have to make sure I prioritize it or add it in a little more often. So maybe I'll miss one YouTube video this week, but I'll make sure I'll do more podcasts and more blogs, and I'll make sure your stuff's getting done too. You know, when we have the book trying to get edited and stuff, I may not do as many keywords on my YouTube, or I might not do the extra housework or something. And so it usually feels like something's got to give, and that's my frustration still so far. So, but by writing it on paper and saying, this 15-minute time block is your Instagram, and this 15-minute time block is going to be your podcast, and that 15-minute, you know, I need a whole hour to work on your YouTube, and I need a whole hour to work on my YouTube, and then I need a whole hour of videoing and editing to make sure that I give myself that time. Even if I've got today's done, then I'll work on tomorrow's, or maybe I've got, you know, a little bit. The one was easier to do, so then I'll maybe do 2 of them that day by time blocking, like by batching.
Yeah.
And then,
well, like we're doing right now, we're batching 3, and then we'll edit them, and then we'll upload.
And then that way, when you're not as good, maybe you have one backup that will fill in that blank. Because I've done that a few times where I don't feel great, but I still did a YouTube video. And when I scheduled my blogs, the one time I wrote a bunch of blogs, and I set them one each day because I was really inspired to write. So my YouTube video that day was short, but my blogs, I was like, poof, I had 5 of them. So I had a whole week's worth scheduled. And that really drove my readership up. And so, you know, I say, well, I don't really want to let go of any of these, but I know now that I really can't add any more to my plate. I'm at full.
You're at full.
For now, until I get these things under control.
Okay.
Just because I have to catch up.
Because I was going to say.
No, because I have to catch up on your YouTube.
Yep.
And make sure that it's all set up, that everything's been done, because there are some videos that didn't get keywords or tags or different things. And some of mine didn't get that. So I have to do all the backlog. Right? And then I have to do all your backlog of your podcast.
Yep.
And then I have to do the backlog of making sure our Instagrams are on key, on point. Because I haven't been doing that as good. And then I have to make sure that we get ahead on your books before your launch times. And
that's for me too.
Because that last minute is great.
Rush.
Is great in some ways, but it's stressful if I end up having a migraine in there, like we did this past weekend. I had 2 this weekend and 2 weeks the week before. So those days I'm not thinking straight. I can't do editing. I can't edit video. I can't edit books. So I need a couple days in there for those just in cases. Until we get that under control. So I have to schedule in that time. I have to schedule in time for appointments. The extras that You may not think about it, but you gotta schedule in and make sure you get that shower, girl. You know, you gotta make sure you schedule in that you're getting that exercise. Because my pants are getting tight. You know? And so it is a priority to make sure that we're doing those things. Because otherwise 6 months goes by and you're like, well, I don't know why I need bigger pants. Well, because I missed all summer. And I didn't enjoy my summer. And then what's the point of life is you're not enjoying it.
Where are you going?
And so I think making sure that you reevaluate and you give yourself extra time and get good at things before you start adding those extras to your plate, or to make sure you have time to fit them in. Because when you're saying yes to one thing, you're saying no to something else. Or you're saying yes to it, but not now. Right?
Yeah.
Because you're saying yes to something new, it takes extra time to learn it. Once you've got it under control, you can add more. Or you can switch it out for something priority. But you're always saying yes to something, and every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. If I say yes to go visiting family, I'm saying no to getting certain work done, or I have to have it done first.
Yep.
You're saying yes, you're going to take care of Dad.
Which means it cuts into my time to write, or cuts into my other stuff.
But on the, you know, that is priority.
But it's family. I mean,
it's priority
too.
You know, and so if I'm doing 6 days of working 12 hours a day, and I don't spend any family with time, then what's the point of doing everything if I'm not enjoying life with family and friends?
Well, that's the balance.
If
right?
I don't allow that in,
choose what your balances are.
If I don't allow that into my schedule for a whole week or a whole month, then I better be showing me the money so that I can, you know, book a vacation because I'm going to need it. You know, because I'm going to burn out. So there's that prioritizing.
I think part of it is to also find ways to de-stress, which are helpful. Find what works for you. For me, I literally celebrate all the small victories because there are no big victories, it seems like. So, celebrate all the small victories. It lifts the mood, makes you feel better. Cheers. I mean, I did not do well today, but at the same point, I did manage several things, which were awesome. It makes me happy that we did manage these things and we pulled them off, even though they weren't perfect. It got pulled off and it worked out. So overall, it's a victory and I get to celebrate it, you know, because that's what I do, and it lifts my mood, makes me feel better, and then I'm not so snappy at her, which is good, and she appreciates that. Yeah. Otherwise, she'd walk out on me and I'd be less than PA. And I like it that I can just do that check mark on paper. Yes, do that check mark, take it off the list, like, I did it, it's done. It gives you that satisfaction. And because sometimes I can do stuff ahead, and if I missed it here, well, I still did good over here. So I can see that I did good work. Instead of just, when you don't write it down, I find I'm concentrating on what I didn't do more than what I did. So it helps me with a more balance, and I'm like, check mark, yes, that little yes. So, you know, just acknowledge that yes, things still need to get done, that you didn't get them all done. But definitely concentrate on the fact that you got things done. Concentrate on what you did get done and say, that's really good. Is Simon outside? I think she is. Oh, yeah, Simon. Unless she sees herself in the door, but I don't think so. She's not usually that bad. I think Simon. Probably. And I liked it. I think the calendar blocking thing is a really good way to do it. I find I want to block stuff off, but then I don't follow it. So we should do a video on calendar blocking. I want to. On how to do it, and, you know, set up the whole deal and say, okay, this is how we do it. So that would be really cool, because that's a tool that both of our people can use. And a to-do list on how to prioritize your to-do list and to get off your to-do list, or to not have a to-do list anymore, to have a priority day schedule, and to figure out that sort of thing, and to figure out how much you actually spend doing things that sometimes you think you shouldn't spend a lot of time on, and you do, and other things you spend a lot of time on and you're like, that was a waste of time. And other times that should be quick and easy, but it takes 4 hours and you're like, wow. Kind of like, why did we have an hour meeting when we could have just had a 2-minute email? You know, or things like that, because companies do that a lot. Yes. Let's talk about what we have to talk about. Well, what would we have to talk about? Yeah, let's not. Let's just do. Do I really have an important... Prioritize and do.
do I really have an important role in this meeting? Do I have to be there to listen to everybody's comments and complaining? Or can we just say, you
Skip
need this.
to the end.
This is my value. Bye.
Yeah, so that's important too, to know what you want out of something before you go in, especially like if it's a meeting, have that agenda and say, okay, let's stick to the agenda.
Yes.
Thank you, Bob, but we don't need to see your vacation pictures. Things like that.
Yeah. Have you
Might be fun on break.
Have you heard of calendar blocking before?
Yes, I have.
Have you tried it or no?
I have tried it. I haven't done too much with it. I did try it, but I find that I overestimate my abilities. Mm-hmm. So I do tend to say, okay, this can take me 15 minutes, and then it takes me a half hour, and then I get behind, and it just snowballs from there because, let's face it, I like to go, I've got this list, and it's prioritized. Let's do as much as we can!
Yes.
Because that's who I am.
And that works really well.
It does work. But it probably would be better to say, okay, this is what I actually expect to get done today.
Mm-hmm. Have you found that you have a good pattern of how you do your business and your writing and your each involved item, or do you just kind of go with the flow and what's working today? Let's go. Or what needs to be done first.
I think I go with what needs to be done first because I have certain days that I have to do certain things. Mm-hmm. And so I'm always trying to get those things done on those days. And I find that I'm like, okay, newsletter day is Tuesday mornings or Tuesday afternoons so that they get out on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. I loved it when I did it on Monday this past week because I just felt really good about getting it done and in place. And then it was just like, I just have to tweak it, and then it goes out on Wednesday, and that felt really good. So because then I had all my newsletter swap stuff set up the same day too. So I just find that if I block off certain days to do certain things, and then I can ignore them for the rest of the week, that makes me happy because it's like, oh, that's checkmarked and put away. And again, I like the checkmark and put away syndrome. So I love it when I can do certain things on certain days, and then when it comes to my writing, that's more difficult because either you're in the mood to write or you're not. Yeah. And so sometimes I have to push through it, and sometimes I'm just like, I'm not doing that right now, so I'm not feeling it. So I will go away and I'll go do something like put together 10 Instagram posts. So that's still something productive, so that I don't have to worry about Instagram for the next 3 days. I just go post. Post my draft, or I want to get into blogging. Would you stop it? I don't know why you are whining. We will go outside in a minute. You already peed twice, so I don't really see why you have an issue. So anyhow, attention. But I want to get more into blogging again because I'm doing this, business. Business, but I'm trying to give value for people who also want to be authors. Mm-hmm. So I want to blog some more. So I want to maybe take some of my YouTube videos and write them out and put the written ones in there as well.
That was something I wanted to do.
So that's something I haven't done yet. Transcribe some of them,
and then I'll have some
written. I had some pictures with them and stuff like that because I can take screenshots all I want and explain stuff further.
I don't know how to do that. I'll
teach you how to do that. That's easy.
And I also have some blogs that were awesome that I want to turn into video.
Yeah, so you kind of bring them back and forth, right? And I just want to be able to give that value, and I haven't done as much written that way because I'm also writing my books, right? Mm-hmm. So it's time.
There's so many things. I think we're so multi-passionate. We have so many things going on that we want to do it all, and we're not really quite managing it all.
We could really have 5 or 10 more hours a day, but it's just not happening. Yeah. It's just not happening right now. But I do feel like I am more productive right now because the sun has come back.
Yay.
So
and Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi helps a lot. So it's
and you're prioritizing it again. You have a little more time to say Dad's doing a bit better. So
yes,
and I haven't been doing as well, so I feel really bad not visiting Dad as much. So that's something
something that you need to work out.
And I think I get that big guilt complex when those things happen. when I'm not spending enough family quality time or giving to other people, or doing for other people, because I want to be doing that, and I feel that I should be, and that shooting all over myself.
Well, that's another topic for another day, in the fact that we as women feel conditioned to basically do it all. We've come to a point in our society where it used to be, you were the caretaker of the household and of your parents and children and your husband, and now we are not only expected to do all of that, which was a full-time job, but now we're also expected to be full-time part breadwinners, for the household. You're supposed to be half the household's breadwinner, so we're supposed to have a job outside and still do the entire bit. And we feel like we're failing if we're not doing both to perfection. And there's so many other roles that we're conditioned to play and do, but the truth is something has to give. And I think a lot of women face burnout because they feel guilty about not doing it all, but the truth is we can't do it all.
Nobody can.
Nobody can.
It doesn't have to be perfect. So.
And I'm not saying men do nothing. I'm just saying they haven't been as conditioned as a woman is to feel guilty if your children are not getting everything that you think that they should have, while you're not spending time with them while you're at work. But you need to be at work to provide income.
Yeah, they don't feel that double guilt.
It's kind of a double
guilt. They feel good going to work.
Men are
and then coming home and doing it.
Yes.
Women
men are conditioned
go to work and feel guilty at work
breadwinners.
and feel guilty at home too.
Men are conditioned to be the breadwinners, right? So it's their job to leave, go hunt food, and bring the bacon home. But women, we're conditioned to be nurturers. So every time that we have to take away our nurturing time because of self-health or creating an income or starting a business or whatever is going on, treating one kid over the other kid because they've got hockey, and we feel totally guilty. And I don't have kids, but I do have family, and you still feel like you're supposed to be doing certain things at certain times, and when somebody asks you to do something, you have to turn them down. We feel horribly guilty. Guys are like, I just don't have time. Yeah. Women are like, oh, I wish I could, but, I've got this. Can I really squeeze it in? Maybe.
And we're still trying.
And
having that higher expectation of ourselves and others.
So I think women in business, I think it is harder, honestly, because the mindset is different. Our mindset is
it's a hard...
We're conditioned.
It's a very conditioned... You want to be perfect and great at it and not show that weakness but not be too rough edge. Because there's opinions there, and there's no comfortable, easy balance that somebody's not judging you, it feels.
Yeah, we always feel like we're being judged. And that again also compared and standardized. And that again also comes from all those magazines you see in the newspaper rack, right? They're always, if you're not being the best you're not good enough, right? So there's always that judgment that you have to be perfect as a woman, and
women entrepreneurs feel it twice as much.
Well, you're under a microscope. So it is harder. It is harder, definitely, in my opinion.
Is hard.
Owning a business is hard. Being an indie author is hard. Is it worth it? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But nobody said it was gonna be easy. So have fun with it. Take your victories while you can, and we're gonna do some videos on time blocking and stuff like that, and we will go from there. So if you enjoyed this video, this little chit chat between me and Tracy, you are more than welcome to like, subscribe, comment, ask us questions, say, hey, what do you do when, and maybe we'll do a video on it.
Should we do videos that, just promoting Josie's book once in a while? The newest book, a little story.
I think we should.
Should we do more lives or just little ones?
Do little lives and stuff like
little
that.
Blurbs.
Little blurbs, maybe, reading a scene or whatever. Just fun stuff.
And then explaining how you got there or what it works for you or what you think.
Yeah.
Or feedback from people and how that...
Because I think how we get there would be a good creative writing example. So we can go from there. So cool.
Hey, y'all.
Nighty nights.